Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Listen Up Bro podcast, your daily news breakdown where I keep it real, keep it informed, and keep it moving. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and today's story spans everything from major legal rulings and global LGBTQ plus right battles to culture, entertainment, and the voices that shape queer visibility and what it looks like in 2026. Our first story is Trans Military Study Challenges Ban Narrative. A new published study is directly contradicting longstanding claims used to justify restrictions on transgender military services. The research found no evidence that trans service members are undeployable, harmful to unit cohesion, or responsible for excess healthcare cost. At the same time, the administration is asking a federal court to dismiss a lawsuit from transgender Air Force members who are fighting to restore revoked retirement benefits. Their argument that these service members must first leave the military before they even have the right to sue. Critics say this creates a catch-22, forcing people out before they can challenge being pushed out. Next, the University of Florida and free speech lawsuit. The University of Florida has disbanded its college Republicans chapter after a viral video showed its secretary allegedly performing a Nazi salute. Now the organization is suing, claiming their First Amendment rights were violated. The university says the move was necessary to address anti-Semitism and discrimination, emphasizing its commitment to campus safety. The case is quickly becoming a flashpoint in the ongoing debate between free speech and hate speech accountability. Why somebody would want to do a Nazi salute and anyway, I'm not even going to go there. Next, LGBTQ plus history echoes today. A powerful reminder from history, Reverend Dr. Rebecca Vogel, an out gay minister, supported refugees in El Salvador during the country's brutal civil war in the 1980s. She described that experience navigating violence, threats, and government-backed persecution as an eerie similar to what she sees today with immigration enforcement in the U.S. It is a stark reminder history doesn't repeat exactly, but it echoes loudly. Next, federal judge blocks RFK Jr. health policy. A federal judge has blocked efforts by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to restrict gender-affirming care for minors through federal programs like Medicaid. The ruling states that the State Department overstepped its legal authority, siding with more than 20 states that challenge the move. This is a major legal win for LGBTQ healthcare access, at least for now. Our next story is NASCAR suspension over homophobic mockery. NASCAR driver Daniel Dye has been indefinitely suspended after mocking another racer using a gay voice during a live stream. It's another example how public accountability is evolving, especially in sports that historically haven't always been inclusive. I love this next story. It's Daniel Levy returns with a new series. So Daniel Levy is back, but this time with a darker edge. His new Netflix show, Big Mistakes, explores family, crime, and complicated relationships by still naturally including queer characters without making their identity the central conflict. Levy says representation works best when it's authentic and not forced, and honestly, that's part of what made Schitt's Creek so impactful. I can't wait. I love Daniel Levy. I just love everything about him and his family. He's amazing. Next, Chris Colfer embraces a more adult era. Former Glee star Chris Colfer is stepping into a new territory with an upcoming novel that he says is much more explicit than his past work. After years of writing for younger audiences, he's now leaning into a more mature queer storytelling. And fans are here for it. Because let's be honest, queer stories deserve space to explore love, intimacy, and desire without limits. And Chris, if you're listening to this, I would love to have you on my other podcast as a guest, Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay, and would be happy to promote your book. I love this next story too. Luke Combs speaks out on LGBTQ acceptance. Country star Luke Combs is getting attention for his song, Whoever You Turn Out to Be, written as a promise to his children. He wants them to know that they'll be loved unconditionally, including if they are LGBTQ+. And in a genre that hasn't always been exclusive, moments like this matters. And if you're not familiar with who Luke Combs is, he actually did a duo with Tracy Chapman on Fast Car and the Grammys a few years ago. It was amazing. I loved that they did that duo together because he was not only singing with an LGBTQ member, but he was also singing with a Black woman. And it said so much to me about who Luke Combs is. And I was there for it, and I still am. So he's great. Next, U.S. group linked to anti-LGBTQ plus laws in Africa. I reported this story yesterday, but the follow-up is a U.S.-based anti-LGBT group has admitted to helping influence harsh new laws in countries like Senegal and Ghana. These laws increase penalties for same-sex relationships, in some cases up to 10 years in prison. Advocates warn this is part of a broader, coordinated effort to roll back LGBTQ rights globally. They are putting all their efforts into coming against LGBTQ people, and I don't understand why. Next, House advances controversial Don't Say Trans bill. House Republicans have advanced a bill that critics say could ban books and educational materials related to LGBTQ plus identities. The legislation defines content related to transgender identity as sexually oriented, potentially restricting it in schools. Opponents argue the bill isn't about protecting kids, it's about erasing representation. Once again, the government is focusing on the 1% of the population that is doing no harm to anybody, and they're not focusing on anything else but that, it seems. It's crazy. We have a war going on in Iran that's not even necessary, but yet we are focusing on less than 1% of the population. Our next story is celebrating 25 years of queer cinema. On a brighter note, the Arbor Film Festival is celebrating 25 years of its LGBTQ plus Out Night. The event continues to spotlight queer storytelling, independent voices, and experimental film. And as the organizers put it, supporting queer art is more important now than ever before. So I love that they're doing that. So that is your LGBTQ plus news roundup for today. If you made it this far, don't forget to follow, share, and keep those conversations going because visibility, awareness, and storytelling still matter. And be sure to share this episode with somebody if you think it would resonate with them. And I will be back tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news.